year after I was born, Cartoon Network dropped a masterpiece called Edd N Eddy. Now, of course, back then I didn't know that this would be one of my favorite cartoons of all time. I remember watching it religiously after school when I got older. Recently, I rewatched the first season, and oh boy, it still has the same charm that it had when I watched it as a kid.
No way, Jose! We're cooking!
So why am I obsessed with Edd N Eddy?
What clogged up your brain, Ed? That, see?
Let me start by saying that Edd N Eddy is simply unique and hilarious. The show revolves around the Edd boys that live in Peach Creek, where they constantly come up with elaborate scams to make money from the other kids, just to get their hands on some huge jawbreakers. But their plans fail almost every time. The show can be enjoyed by everyone, no matter how old they are. I remember having so much fun watching it as a kid, and now, as an adult, I really can't wait to rewatch the entire show, and the movies too.
H2O, please.
Now let's talk a bit about the characters.
Hey, move it! Out of the way! This is the best part!
First we have Ed. He might be the stupidest character in the show, but he's definitely the funniest. Not only does he tell the best jokes, but he does the funniest shit too.
My ears are broken!
He's so strong. He can break anything, even the laws of physics. And if he doesn't break it, he will straight up eat it.
Chunky Pops.
Would you like milk with that?
Also, his voice is just amazing. Matt Hill did a fantastic job, which made me love Ed even more. To me, Ed will always be one of the most iconic cartoon characters ever.
Sucking it! I got a plan!
Then we have Double D. He's the sound of reason and the genius of the group. He will turn random stuff you find in your house into cool inventions, just like Phineas and Ferb do.
Well, I see you stumbled upon my collection of misfit failed inventions, Nosy Parker.
He may be a nerd who loves to be as neatly as possible, but he's funny too.
Blah, 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 blah. Yap, yap, blah, blah, dribble, dribble, dribble.
And just like Matt Hill, Samuel did an amazing job voicing Double D. He also has a pretty cool hat.
I'm sure your Tripoli frog jumping derby will do well without me.
And then there's Eddie, the unofficial leader of the group. He acts like a total douchebag, but he's so damn good.
Get lost, twerp!
He reminds me so much of Saul Goodman for some reason.
Get out there and make me some cash, paperboy!
Which gives him extra points automatically. He always comes up with awesome scams to get some cash to buy some delicious jawbreakers. The scams do fail 99% of the time, but they are still so damn cool. He's a jerk, but I love him.
Forget the gravy, Ed. Here, gnaw on this.
Also, Tony Sampson's voice was perfect for Eddie and made him memorable.
Ed, you're gonna hurt somebody! This ain't a cartoon!
And if you're still watching, then scamming you with a sub would be amazing.
No response. There's no response!
We also have the cul-de-sac kids that the Ed boys try to scam all the time. We have Ed's bratty little sister, who always tries to ruin his day and yell at the Ed boys all the time.
You stink!
You can always find her playing with her really sensitive friend, Jimmy.
It is I, Prince Jimmy!
Not gonna lie, as a kid, I thought that Jimmy was a girl, but turns out he's just a feminine boy who loves playing with the girls. He's either pretending to be girly just to hang out with Sarah, or he's what we call today a femboy.
This is fun!
There's also Nez the pretty girl, the crush of the boys in cul-de-sac. And Kevin the cool Chad who loves his bike and hate the Eds. He usually calls them dorks.
I'll clean you, dorks!
We can't forget about Rolf, the foreigner who loves his farm and has a bunch of cool animals, especially chickens, which Ed is obsessed with.
Rolf requests the presence of your colossal feet as it is time to squash the raspberries.
Holy chicken shower! Look.
And last but not least, we have Johnny, and the best character ever, Plank. Johnny is a bit stupid, but funny as hell. And Plank is just the best because my channel is literally named after him.
Guys are just a bunch of phonies!
All of these characters have great personalities and feel so different from each other. Everyone is unique in their own way, which makes the show so good. The only thing that all these kids share in common is their fear from the Kanker sisters Lee, May, and Marie, who love the Ed boys but always ruin their scams.
Go ahead, yell. No one will hear you.
None of these amazing characters gets close to the worst in the show. That trophy goes to Eddie's big brother, the only adult that appears in Edd N Eddy.
Give it up! I thought you wanted to hang with your hero.
We only see him once in the Edd N Eddy Big Picture show, and that was enough to make all the other characters look like saints.
Everything about my brother was a lie. I just made things up so people would like me, think I was cool.
Alongside all these amazing characters, Edd N Eddy had amazing animation and style. Also, the comedy in the show is just perfect. Maybe it's just me, but old cartoons just have an amazing style and feel to them. A lot of cartoons today just feel soulless, just like my AI voices. It's just boring, generic, and bland. They lack personality, and most of them feel the same. Of course, not all new cartoons are terrible. I'm just sick of all the new animation and soulless shows. This is my personal opinion after all, so most of the crap that I'm saying is just crap. Also, the scams in the show are so good. So to stretch the video a bit longer, I'll talk about 5 of my favorite scams in Season 1.
Look closely. Listen to the sound of my voice.
In number 5, we have the scam in Edd N Eddy, where the Edd boys open a pet boutique so they can wash Rolf's animals for some cash. The plan was working fine until Edd got allergic from rubbing his face with the rabbits. They had to stop cleaning so they could help Edd with his allergies. While they were gone, the rabbits were practicing their multiplication tables and ended up taking over the neighborhood. We never got to see if the Edds got paid, so I'll just assume that the scam was a failure. However, they got to watch TV while sitting on the roof with a hood full of rabbits. Is it really that bad?
Hey! Shut your yap! We're trying to watch TV here!
In number 4, we have Edd Go, where Eddie gets the idea of creating his Club Edd after seeing a plain advertising Joe's Clubhouse, and then tries to scam the kids to join for some money. After building it, Eddie tries to convince the kids to join the Edd Club. However, everyone laughs when they see that the Cankers took over the clubhouse. This scam was a huge failure because they couldn't get the clubhouse back, and instead getting money, Eddie got a body full of thorns. This scam gets a 4 out of 5 because having your own clubhouse seems so much fun, but the execution gets a 1.5 cause they didn't get to keep Club Edd for long.
They must be soaked. Finish him, Ed!
In number 3, we have the scam in Over Your Edd, where Edd smelled so bad, so double D, and Eddie decided to give him a makeover and teach him some catchphrases to turn him into a cool dude. The plan worked because all the kids loved the new Edd, and Eddie decided to capitalize on this golden opportunity to make some money. So the Edds created a show for Edd to show off and say his phrases for 25 cents. The scam was pretty successful, and the Edd boys got a jar full of quarters. However, this wouldn't be an Edd N Eddy's episode if the Cankers didn't ruin everything. This gets a 5 because Cool Edd is amazing.
Swiggity swag, what's in the bag?
In number 2, we have the first scam in Look Into My Edds, where the Edd boys created a cool bus using a wagon, a large cardboard box, and tied it to Edd, who was dragging it like a horse. They used this bus to transport the kids from cul-de-sac to the candy store for some quarters. It was going well till they went downhill and crashed the bus. The scam was kind of successful because they did get a cup full of money. However, we don't know if they got to keep the cash or had to give the kids a refund. This also gets a 5 because that bus was awesome.
I'm afraid this constitutes a refund.
And finally, in number 1 we have Avasti Edds, the last scam in Season 1, where Eddie comes up with the Creek Cruise scam for the low price of 25 cents. It's a very cool scam, just the Edd bois cruising down the creek with Johnny and Jimmy on a tire. It was almost a success until the Crankers showed up as pirates in their own ship and ruined everything for our boys for one last time in Season 1. This gets a 5 because turning a tire into a ship is very awesome.
Take my feet, take my feet, take my feet.
So there you have it. I really don't think my explanation gives Edd N Eddy any kind of justice about how really perfect the cartoon is. I am just obsessed with the show, but I don't know how to explain it. If you haven't watched it, then I definitely recommend giving it a try, and if you already did, then rewatching it is definitely worth it. Feel free to comment down below your favorite moment in the show. And if you enjoyed watching, then I recommend watching this video where I talk about Teen Titans Go. Until next time, thank you for watching and goodbye.